What's up, YouTube? I'm Robert, and this is the Biker Channel. And apparently, these freaking bearings do not spin very well when it's raining outside. Nonetheless, let's get started. This is episode 21. And with episode 21, I feel like I should probably just have a drink right out the gate. That seems like a good way to start. I want to tell all of you that have never been here before, this is the Biker Bar. I know I have a lot of new subscribers, and there is two different kinds of content that happens on this channel. POV videos once a week, most of the time on Wednesday, unless I have something to do with the lady or the kids or the rest of my life, and maybe it's a little bit late. But otherwise, every Sunday at 5 p.m. PST, I do the Biker Bar. The Biker Bar is a long format conversation. It's usually with other YouTubers, sometimes with industry professionals, sometimes with some companies that you guys are buying stuff from. One way or another, Biker Bar, Sundays, 5 p.m. PST. The first thing that I want to say is thanks to this guy from Ride Bikes Eat Tacos. You guys probably saw his sticker laying there, the full send sticker, and actually I'm wearing his shirt as well. So if you have a chance to swing by Ride Bikes Eat Tacos, he's got these stickers, he's got also shirts and a bunch of other swag on his site. He's actually a subscriber, so if you have a minute to swing by Ride Bikes Eat Tacos, check him out. I got a chance to meet him today, and that was actually really cool. I was at an event put on by Dirt Trail Riders and MTB Experience. So Dirt Trail Riders is also another apparel company, but they're local here to NorCal. And so if you get a chance to check them out, do it as well. I'll throw them up here. For those of you guys that aren't listening, you can see that his logo is really close to the Ride Bikes Eat Tacos guy. So maybe they're using the same designer. I don't know. But one way or another, the Dirt Trail Riders guy has done something today that was really special. I went to this event with MTB Experience today. They put on an event, fundraising event for everybody that was involved in the campfire. So if you're not from California, the campfire was burning down the house out here. Lots of people lost their homes. Actually, the city that this all went down in, they were saying like 90% of the city is gone. So the ladies that started MTB Experience put on this event, and while I was at this event, I got to meet that dude from Ride Bikes Eat Tacos, one of the subscribers, but also Dirt Trail Riders. What they did was they did a separate fundraiser, and then they came out with 6 bikes for kids that they could give away for this fundraiser. So if you guys have just a moment in your time to swing by his site, Dirt Trail Riders, and maybe buy one of his shirts if you like it, or one of his hats if you like it, do that, because it was really a freaking legit cause that he did that. So moving on. Hey man, I got an Instagram and a Facebook. If you guys have not been on my Instagram or my Facebook, and you don't have the extra freaking change in your pocket to join Patreon, but you want to know what the fuck I'm up to whenever I'm not riding bikes, or whenever I don't know what else. If you want to know, if you want more of me, then you can get on Instagram or Facebook. So that's at Biker B1. So it's B1KER B1. So both Facebook and Instagram, I put a bunch of shit up there. Lots of things come out there. So last week, whenever I released my last video and I said I'm picking something up, everybody that was on Instagram knew what the hell I was talking about because it was there. But if you're on Patreon, it was actually there before Instagram. So, hey, you decide where you want to be in the chain, right? You know? So anyways, thanks a lot for subscribing. I really appreciate it. If you laugh once, if you enjoy 10 minutes of this, hit the thumbs up button. I am eating my fucking shoe with that. I hated saying like and subscribe. It was one of the things that I vowed I would never do, but I came to a realization just in like the last week where if I want to actually keep doing this YouTube channel, I have to say that, because this is the deal. When I'm not getting like good views or no comments or no likes, it like brings my morale down. And so when you guys do that, it makes me happy. So if you're watching already, if you're in this room right now, hit the thumbs up button. I will be stoked to see all those like pile up. Let's get to the content today. the content today is there's this dude that I don't know a whole lot about, but we're going to find out about. He is a YouTuber. He's a smaller channel, so some of you guys may not have heard of him, but his motto is great. It to me, I enjoy it just like the freaking it only takes a bite to be a biker, get out and be one. His motto is put the horns high. So like these are the horns and you got to put them up high. You got to be on his channel and check it out. So we got Shawn. And Shawn, tell me about your channel a little bit better than I can.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me on, Rob. It's a super pleasure. Yeah, this is pretty fun, man. I'm digging this. So yeah, I'm a YouTuber out in Kansas City, and I've been doing this for coming up on 2 years now. But I do everything from bike rides to well, what do I let's see, bike rides and
play with snakes. I've seen you play with snakes.
I have a tendency to, like, if I'm out on the trail and you see a snake or something like that, someone's got to pick it up and get it off the trail. So that's usually me.
City, man, that I honestly didn't. I'm not like 100% geographically in the know. So I didn't know what's up with Kansas City and mountain bike scene over there.
You know, it's funny. We have a pretty cool scene here. So we kind of lack the mountains, and so without mountains or ocean or anything cool like that, we kind of fall off the radar. But I have probably, I think, around 140 miles worth of single track within about 45 minutes of my house. So just in any direction, I can find all kinds of trails to ride. But yeah, we've never really shown up on anybody's radar before. So it's always been kind of a thing that we're all sitting here like, we got some pretty cool trails, but you know, no one ever really, you know, people come through Kansas City on their way to other places, but a lot of times I don't think they realize that there's quite a bit of trail here. So good stuff, good rocky, chunky stuff.
You from Kansas City all your life?
Actually, no. I've spent about half of my life here in Kansas City, but I grew up out in California, so I bounced all over.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
your head straight and move the fuck out, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I'll come and visit every so often, but
we're at in California.
Yeah. What's up?
Where at in California are you from?
So I bounced around Riverside, Long Beach, Santa Monica, Ventura.
Oh, SoCal. That's a different state than where I live.
Yeah. You're up north.
Yeah. If you guys aren't familiar with California, those of you that are listening, those of you that are watching, we are one state on the map. We are like one state as far as like electoral college, all that shit goes. However, most Northern Californians, we consider ourselves a different breed than Southern Californians. So
I've got to say this. So oddly enough, growing up the way that I did out there and doing the things that I did out there, I spent over 20 years of my life out there and never made it north of San Francisco. So Northern Cal, because I always heard that, you know, I was always heard like, yeah, Northern California has their thing going on, and like we're all down here surfing in Southern California, and all those Northern California people, blah blah blah. But I literally the entire time I lived out there never made it north of San Francisco, and moved to Kansas City, and my wife and I did a road trip from Seattle down to San Diego, and during that road trip, I got to see Northern California, and I was like, oh yeah, no wonder these guys have their own thing going on. Yeah, this is a whole different thing up here, man.
You know,
so I would come back to Northern California and for sure and ride and check out some of that stuff. But I've had all the Southern California I need.
I heard about this event that usually happens in June. It's something like the biker camp biker or something like that. If you're planning on to come to California, that's probably a really good time to come.
Is it?
Yeah, we do this little thing in Downeyville. I don't know if you ever heard of have you heard of Downeyville?
Oh yeah.
So we do this little thing, and so if you're thinking about, hey man, I don't know how long it takes to drive from Kansas City, but I mean honestly, I mean since I'm paying you like 10 grand to be on this show tonight, you should be able to you should be able to just roll your ass right over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as soon as the check clears the bank, I'll hop in the truck and I'll start heading out there.
that's where the problem lies. So
yeah, right? Yeah. So how about you? Have you lived out there?
I'm actually from Pennsylvania. I grew up in Pennsylvania, little town called York, like the Peppermint Patty.
Okay.
It's about 45 minutes north of Pennsylvania. No, it's in Pennsylvania, fucker. No, it's about 45 minutes north of Washington, D.C. Most people know where that is, where that's on the map. And it's just, that I pretty much grew up there, and between, let's just call it life for the sake of this conversation, and later joined the military. I bounced around the U.S. and I got to live in Europe for a while, but I came back to California because I wanted to be a rock star, man. So I came all the way out here and went to school for studio recording, learned how to do all that shit, and then became an IT guy. So, and now I'm fucking YouTube famous, bitches.
Now look at you.
Right?
All those people that didn't believe.
Right? Yeah. Everybody back in my high school. I'm gonna go to my 60-year reunion because I'm waiting to actually accomplish something in my life. But once I go to my 60-year reunion, everybody I actually gave a shit will be dead, because most of them are probably already dead now. And I'm gonna be like, look at me, I got 10,000 subscribers, bitch.
There you go. It's funny that does. You were saying in your intro about liking and sharing and thumbs up and asking for those subscriptions and stuff like that. And I was having a conversation with one of my friends just last night, and I said that it's hard. Sometimes it feels weird when you're starting out that video and you're like, you say the first thing that's genuine. You're like, hey guys, welcome back to the show or whatever. And then after that, you're like, don't forget to subscribe and blah, blah, blah. And I just figure, it's one of those things. It's kind of like, it's the business. It's almost kind of like the business side of the making the video of like, hey, don't forget, man, we're doing all this hard work and we're doing all this thing for one thing and one thing only. And that's for you to hit that little subscribe button down there. And it really means a lot to us.
I'll tell you this right now. When I first started watching YouTube, I was in my late 30s at that point. Now I can say I'm in my 40s. I don't know. It makes it sound like I've been doing it a lot longer.
Right?
I was all of 2 years ago. But honestly, one of the things that I hated the most was everybody like and subscribe, like my video, smash the like button, like the like button. I couldn't fucking stand it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, people, I get it. I want to say 40. I gotta back my mind up. I'm 38 years old. I get it, dude. This is how YouTube works. Push the fucking button. I did not ever want to be that guy saying like and subscribe. And here I am. This is what happened, dude. If you follow my channel, I don't know how much you watch my channel. Those of you guys that are subscribers that have been around for a while, back in midsummer, dude, I hit a slump, man. And in that process of coming out of that slump, I realized part of what really was bringing me down was my channel wasn't doing that well. But it wasn't doing that well because I was down. So people see that, and as much as I I would have liked to have thought that I could just pull a fucking wool over everybody's eyes. Everybody got it, man, because I forgot that you guys are all everybody out there in YouTube land or podcast land, you guys are all like fucking girlfriends. And let me explain what I'm talking about. Girlfriends know when you're pissed off just by the way your eyebrow goes or the way that you cringe the side of your mouth or something. And so I thought, I was like, hey, dude, these guys don't know me. I just come up here and be happy. And freaking what happened was hey, I was down and everybody was reading it. And because of that, my views went down, my likes went down, my comments went down. Yeah. And I realized through that process that that was important to me. That actually motivates me. Mm-hmm. And if I want this channel to be successful, and actually I do, oddly enough, want this channel to be successful, mostly because I want to walk into the president of my company's office and tell him to go fuck himself. So that would be great. But if that doesn't happen, at least let me have some let's live outside of this box, So I realized at that point, okay, I have to like ask people to like and subscribe because of one reason. When you ask people, they actually do it.
Yeah.
And so what I'm going to do is on the Biker Bar, I just throw it out like and subscribe, whatever. I'm going to do that this way. But when I'm riding on my regular videos, I'm trying to figure out as many or like different ways that I can ask that so that I don't feel like the sellout. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not just like harping that same thing over and over again.
Because we all grew up in that time. I don't know if sellout has the same meaning to like the millennials as it does to me. But it was like you know, like you weren't hardcore if you didn't do this or you didn't do that. You're a fucking sellout. I don't want to be a fucking sellout saying like and subscribe. But all of you guys out there, like and subscribe, please. But that's really what it came down to, man. I realized how much that motivated me.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a young channel right now. You're at what, like 1,500 subscribers, I believe.
Yeah, a little bit less than that.
Yeah, so you're coming up, and you have to ask people that.
Yeah.
So tell me, what made you decide I'm gonna start a YouTube channel? I mean, I want everybody in the world to know that I would ride down this single track, pick up a fucking snake.
Right. You know, I gotta throw that credit to my buddy Steve. I had been, and this kind of goes back to that the difference between watching a video and subscribing to a channel thing. So, and the other thing too that I'll say about that is our generation. This is what I think is hard for us, is that a lot of, you know, the world of mountain biking is from everywhere from like 20 years of age to, you know, 50 years of age. But that word subscription, as soon as anyone near my age hears that word, hey, don't forget to subscribe. That sounds to me like a magazine. That sounds to me like it cost me money to subscribe, so I don't want to subscribe. And eventually at one point in time when I went from watching YouTube videos to subscribing to channels. And I figured everyone needed to make that transition to like really kind of developing a list of channels that bring them the content that they like. And that's the whole reason behind subscribing to it. So I figured if I had to eventually have that light go off in my head of like, oh yeah, I need to, you know, I should, if I subscribe to this channel, then the next time this dude makes a video, I don't know how often he's going to make a video, but the next time he makes a video, I'm going to get to see his video and everything. So anyways, so back to that other question, like the starting the channel, my buddy Steve came to me a couple years ago, and he just out of the blue, he just goes, man, you know what? He goes, you should start a YouTube channel. He goes, there's these mountain bikers that are doing these YouTube channels, and all you need to have is what's that?
He was like, those guys are all lame. There's some fat fuck out there getting
No, he said it best. He said the same thing that like BKXC and all those guys say. They're like, if you have a personality, you know, you've got a chance at doing something, because there's, you know, when we would go out and ride bikes and stuff, you know, I would always be doing stuff that made people laugh, or just, you know, we were having a fun time on our bikes as well as riding our bikes. And so he just said, yeah, you've got the personality to do it. He goes, just do what you do when you're out riding bikes. Just do that with a camera on your chest, and you'll find an audience for it. So yeah, in 2 years I've been doing it. But the big surprise of it to me was knowing that my buddies who have kids and spouses, and how often have we tried to describe a mountain bike ride to our kids or our spouses, and they're just kind of like, okay, I think I understand, you rode your bike and you did something and whatever. All of a sudden now we brought that world to them, like, you know, everything with these stabilized videos and these gimbals and everything.
Wait a minute. We did not bring that world to them.
Well, no.
I'll tell you right now, dude, this is what I'm going to say. The GoPro effect is real. Tell me you weren't watching fucking YouTube videos going, I can smash that shit. And then went to one of those places and was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. A few weeks ago, I was out in Grand Junction and I rode with Kyle and RC from Unprofessional Kyle and Outdoor Gold. And we rode the Ribbon Trail, and or at least I think it was on the Ribbon Trail. And there's a section called Hospital Hill, and it's notorious in all these different videos. And you see it in the videos, and you're like, well, yeah, it looks steep and everything. And then you see it in real life, and I fell twice trying to walk my bike down it. You know, it was so steep. So when you get there, you're like, oh man, that GoPro effect is. Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, all those balls that I had right before I got here, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah. All that shit that I was talking, shouldn't have been doing that.
That's the beauty of talking shit with your buddies. It's not on fucking the internet. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
That's pretty hefty beard you got going on over there, dude. How long's that thing been?
I'm probably at least a couple.
I gotta set the stage for the people that are listening on the podcast. This dude, he looks like an Irish kind of like redhead kind of guy, and he's got at least like maybe 6-8 fingers of beard underneath there going on. Like it's a good one. It's like what ZZ Top looked like 5 years before they started the band. That's what he's
right.
So how did that come about, man? Because I'll tell you what, dude, I never had a beard, and like whenever, every once in a while, like every year ski season, I would just be like, I'm not gonna shave anymore, so that I have some fur when I ski. And like what I would grow would be like fucking maybe somebody didn't go to work for a couple of days. I had a beard, and then just recently I decided to bring this bitch on, and
it's looking good.
You're putting me down, man.
Oh no, you're gonna catch right up to me. You have a lot more going on there than.
Oh, dude, the only thing that I am actually really fucking efficient at in my life is growing hair. So
yeah.
I was a channel that we could have about like, let's see how much hair some motherfucker can grow. I would be pinning that bitch.
That's right.
So how'd you decide to grow the beard, man?
So I was always looking back in photos and stuff of myself. I've always seen that I've always been doing some goofy. It was either the lamb chops or it was some kind of funky hair thing, and then I kind of a couple years ago I was like, I'm gonna really start riding all year long, even in the cold, and so I'd always had like a little bit of stubble going on. So then I just tried to grow it out for a little while and let it, see if it would actually keep me any warmer. I don't know if it keeps me warmer or not, but it's there and it's growing. So I'm just gonna let it do its thing. However, I had to laugh. I put a video out last week of we were doing a ride up in Eagle, Colorado, and I don't know if the speakers didn't pick or like I couldn't hear the audio very well here in my office where I was making the video or something, but I slipped this clip into the video where I was standing in this field, and my buddy turns to me and he goes, "You look like a giant gnome." So I was like, "Yep, that's probably the best way." So if you're trying to describe what I look like to some other people, just a giant gnome, I think is. When he said that,
you should actually just rebrand your channel right now. Fuck
right.
We'll just like the mountain bike gnome, dude.
Yeah, giant gnome mountain biking.
Yeah, dude, I'm down with it, dude. The red gnome, dude, and then that's it, man. We're done. Here we go. So if you guys want to see the red gnome channel, go ahead and check out Horns High on I don't know what the fuck.com, and that's where it'll be.
Yeah, we'll link it.
I'll tell you what, man. Everybody, not everybody. I hope it's everybody, but a lot of people on my channel, the way that they recognize me when I'm out riding is they're like, I've seriously ridden past them, and then they hear me laugh, and they're like, "Oh, I know that dude." Yep. Like I've had so many people on the trail say, "Dude, I heard you over there laughing, and I knew that was you." And I'll tell you, the very first time I watched your channel, I was like, "This dude's got a good radio voice, dude."
Thank you.
I love it, man. I love you. It's like you're my Kansas City twin, man.
Right.
Good stuff, dude.
It's funny. I might have been like 20 videos into my channel, and I had someone comment. It was one of the very first comments I ever had, and still to this day, I think he was serious, but he still could have been pulling my chain. But he commented on the video, and he goes, "Man, you sound just like Matthew McConaughey." You like described my voice, and I thought, "Oh yeah, okay, easy with the Matthew McConaughey stuff, man. I can't live up to."
Yeah, because this shit's on YouTube, and as soon as they see that, it's not good.
Yeah. As soon as I get in front of the camera, no one's gonna be accusing me of anything that has anything to do with Matthew McConaughey.
Awesome, dude. I still remember one of my very first comments on my first videos that I put up, and this guy was like, "Oh, that was sick." And it was some Asian dude in the Bay Area. I live in Northern California, so the Bay Area to us is San Francisco. So he lived down in the Bay Area, and he's like, "Oh, that was awesome, man! Great ride." And I remember thinking, I don't know if this is spam. Like, because I'm an IT guy, so like my first intention on anything in the internet is that's bullshit.
Yeah,
so, This dude's like, "Oh no, I really like what," and I was like, but he was the first subscriber that was like not one of my buddies, and lo and behold, that was MTB Savant.
Oh, nice, man.
Believe it or not, that was MTB, and I guess he actually wasn't lying, or he's still lying to me.
He's still just going with the story.
He's like, "Oh shit, that guy blew up a little bit, so maybe I should stick to that."
Exactly. That's awesome.
What kind of wheels you got underneath you, dude?
I ride a Bronson too. You ride a Bronson, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I have a first generation. It's right here. Hold on.
Oh, you don't need to get it, dude. Let's just chat about it, man.
Okay. I can throw it back in.
Listening, they can't see that shit.
First generation alloy Bronson with magenta pink spokes from I9.
Which color framing do you have?
I have the
first gen had the neon yellow.
Yeah, it's the one that has it's like dark black, and then it has on the side of the bike the Santa Cruz logo is magenta, and then on the bottom of the down tube it has it in like bright like fluorescent green.
So magenta is code word for pink for all of you.
Yeah, that's a way for us guys to say pink without saying pink. Right. So, when I got the frame, I was like, "Oh, sweet." So when I got the frame, I'm just going to peel the stickers off of it, and then I'll murder it like I do all my bikes.
Right.
And then when I got the frame, it was different. Like it's an aluminum frame, but they didn't like. Yeah. Like it's on there. There's like unless you strip the frame, that
way. It's under the top coat. So I actually had a somewhere in my bike life, I don't remember where it was, but I had the same thing. I thought I was like, I'm just get this, peel the stickers off, and no.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. Hey, you know what? I know some dudes that can hook you up. You want to change that shit? Hit up Sticker, man. STIKRD sticker.com. Those guys will they'll do whatever you want, man.
They do the frame protection. Yeah, they can pretty well like kind of give your bike a facelift.
Oh, they'll do anything, dude.
Yeah, just doing a sticker kit. That's cool, man.
You dream it up, just stick it on there, and honestly, it's really a simple process, man.
I remember when we first started riding, and the only way that we could like customize our bike is to take like electrical tape or like some kind of weird tape or something like that, and try to make your bike look different. My
old bike, I or some of my old bikes, I got powder coated because I was like, "Fuck this color," and so I got them powder coated, and it was like I was looking for stickers, and the only place I could find stickers like some dude like overseas that was probably going to take my money and never send me the stickers. Yeah. And once I found out about this American company here in NorCal, actually, that fucking lines up because I can actually drive these bitches and see what's up. I went down there, dude. I was like, "Hey, check it out. You guys want to drink some beer?" Richard said yes, and I was in love. and then he hooked up the bike, and I was like, and then the dude was funny too, man. So I was like, okay, I can do this. So now I'm a stickered bitch.
I love it. Now, do they do your they do the frame decal things like that? Do they also do stickers like for
they will do any sticker that you want on your bike, even if you go to the website and it's not on there. There are some legal reasons why they may not be able to put everything on the website, but if you were asking for something, they can do it. But yes, they can also do stickers just like Sticker Mule. So
okay.
They have that capacity as well. They do wraps as well. So, I mean, I didn't know I was plugging them. So apparently I'm going to send Richard a fucking.
Right. I think he owes us a hookup a little. Cause I follow them on Instagram, but I didn't know if they did like decal stickers like we use for our channels and stuff too.
They definitely do. And see, this is the difference between them and like Sticker Mule. The quality of the sticker that you'll get from them compared to like a Sticker Mule is like you can put one of their stickers on a sign and come back like 2 years later and it still looks good. You put a Sticker Mule sticker up there and the sun and the weather is just going to fade the shit out. It'll look like shit. So, and until Sticker Mule pays me to say stickered is bullshit, I'm going to sticker that.
Right.
No, but honestly, like there's no like I'm not financially gaining from this conversation. All I'm doing is actually talking about like I was just impressed. I was impressed to have dude, I'm American, man, and at the end of the day, dude, I like seeing shit made in America, and that makes me happy. And I'm a guy that like even though I could go buy something at Walmart that's super cheap, I might go buy it at the local shop, or hey, I could get beer over at Rite Aid way cheaper than I can from Habib's joint over on the corner. And I'll go over there and buy beer from him just because like I feel like I'm putting food on somebody's table. And I think that's important. It's important to be part of your community. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's YouTube, you know, building your community. So what's it been like for you in Kansas City? Like you're probably like one of the first YouTubers that pop out of that city, huh? Are you going out the trails and like it's kind of blowing your mind or what?
Yeah, well, I think I might be the only one I think I was just one of the first people to get a gimbal and start kind of trying to throw some stuff together and make some videos. And it happened at a time when like my work season is really, really busy in the summertime, and then it tapers off really good in the wintertime. So I'm always looking for little projects to do in the wintertime to keep me busy. And so I started
summertime. You're a swimsuit model. Is that what's going on?
Yeah. The giant gnome swimsuit edition is they gave me August because I'm so fair skinned. So
I love it. So you were saying?
Yes, there were a lot of other guys that had videos out on YouTube, but I think I was just one of the people that started trying to do this thing, and I wanted to. My big thing that I always said on my channel is that my channel is not about me. It's about improving someone's ride, and like taking them with us on our like trying to make videos that really brought someone with you on the ride. And
tell me the coolest thing that has happened to you with the sub, because today I was out at this fundraiser for the campfire victims. If you guys don't know what the campfire is, big ass. Did I say this already? I think I did say this already.
It is. But say it again. It deserves to be said again.
Right. So there's a big ass fire in California. A lot of people lost everything. And so I'm just coming out there to freaking ride bikes and be part of it. And apparently I got like 6,000 friends on YouTube. Some of them want to show the fuck up. And so today I'm there, and this is hard for me because my channel is not PG. It's not PG. It's probably pretty damn. It's not R. It's probably close. It's like teetering in between R and like NC-17, if that's still around.
Yeah.
And this kid comes up, and he's actually on the stream. I seen him earlier. I don't know if he's still here today, but he asked me to sign his helmet and his jersey. I have never signed a jersey or a helmet in my life. Can you imagine the pressure? I was like, oh God, dude, I'm writing on his helmet. This looks dumb. I hope it looks better to him than it does to me, because I'm just judging the shit up. And plus I'm like an OCD fuck. So I'm like, I want this to be perfect. No, it's not perfect. Can I erase this? No, I can't. But that was like the highlight of my day. Probably the highlight of the last few months for me. I cannot believe that happened.
Yeah.
What for you? Like, I'm sorry if I overshadowed that. We're gonna.
No. I had a vision. I had a vision in my head when you were describing that scenario to me, and I was like, I probably would have come home like with my own signature or autograph, like on my own helmet, like 11 times, because I would have been like, yeah, before I do that, before I mess up your helmet, hold on, let me see if I can do this right. And
right.
Like, test it out on my helmet. I'm like, I don't know.
But I wanted to write biker, and then it's all sideways and bent, curvy, and I'm like, oh God, I hope. You know what, man? When I was that kid's age, that would have made my day, you know? Right. And I'm like, the thing that meant the most to me about that was like, don't fuck this up, Rob. Like all those relationships you had in high school and college and your 20s and 30s. And I was like, don't fucked this up like you fucked that up. And then I looked at it. I was like, I hope he likes this. So if you're still on, little guy, dude, Junior. Oh, there he is, Junior MTB. He is still on. You made my day more than I made yours, Junior. So, so you were saying
that is rad. I think, yeah, you know, you always have a lot of those little moments where you get recognized somewhere, and it's always kind of a weird feeling. Like if it's not on a bike, it feels a little bit weird. But earlier this summer, we were clear up in Minnesota with the family, and we were on our way to some bike place that we were riding to, and some dude that was kind of like perpendicular to us at an intersection starts hitting his horn, and I kind of look over at him, and all I see him doing is just throwing horns up in his windshield, you know, both horns up in his windshield. And I looked over, and it didn't quite connect to me. And then my wife looked over at me, and she's like, yeah, I think that dude knows who you are. And I look back over again, and the guy was, you know, I'm 600 miles away from my house, and here's some dude that's like, hey, there's that guy that, you know, I've never been to Minnesota before in my life. And here's this dude recognizing me, and I happen to be in front of my wife and kids. So now I'm cool.
Dude, when I first started my channel, I had whenever MTB Savant subscribed, I walked around the whole house that night. I was like, everybody, you guys just need to sit the fuck down, because I'm fucking famous, bitches. And my head has just gotten bigger, which was weird because it started out really big, and then I realized, oh, actually, I'm not that good at this. So I appreciate everybody that's out there freaking having any part of this. I really, really do appreciate it. Hey, if you guys aren't hitting the thumbs up, what the fuck? No, I think one of the things that I started this channel for, and I would imagine maybe something similar for you, but it's like, I really wanted people to see that, like when you talk to people like off the cuff and you're like, oh, I'm a mountain biker, they're like, whoa, that shit's hardcore. And it's like, no, dude, it doesn't have to be Rampage. You know what I mean? You go out and you can have a good time. And I got that gist from your channel when I watch it. It's like good times. You know, hey, you're a shredder, by the way.
Thanks, Thank you.
I've seen how you ride. I don't know if I want to come to Kansas, but no, dude. But I mean, that's one of those things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was, and it's funny because at least nowadays there's people who know what mountain bikes are. Because I remember, you know, when I first started out mountain biking, dude, you're in Kansas, and you're like, yeah, I like to go out mountain biking, and just people just start laughing is what they do, because you're in Kansas, man. You're not going to ride any mountains. You're not going to be doing anything.
The only thing I know about Kansas is like Dorothy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's what may have been a really hot chick 50 years ago and a little dog, and that's all I know. And there's some fucking tornadoes and shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just a lot of cultivated fields. I actually live right on the border between Kansas and Missouri. So I'm probably 2 miles east of me is Missouri. So I'm kind of right there in between.
So is there like a Kansas Missouri thing where you're like, oh, you're from Missouri?
Yeah, there is. And I've never really known what to do with that, because I'm from California, so they all hate me. So they all were just like, oh great, some dude, some bro from Southern California, huh? So
I always like, I'm like, oh, I'm from California. And then they're like, oh, I hate California. I'm like, yeah, but I was born in Pennsylvania.
Yes, right, exactly.
It's kind of like, oh, no, dude. I know a racially ethnic person. They're my friend, I swear. You know, that was probably a bad joke. I tried. Everybody does that. You know, they're like, oh, no.
The thing that you have going for you, though, is that you're Northern California.
Right.
And that's better, because as I've traveled around the world, or not around the world, as I've traveled around the country, whenever people kind of start to
say the world, dude, it's cool, dude. We're fucking
what you know, when I was on tour last year with the first year of Horns High mountain biking, no, but like when I would meet people, whenever they would start to tell you more about the why, as far as like, why do people from California, have this reputation. It almost always comes down to LA, which is right where I was from. So I think it was a lot of the Southern California influence. So at least you have Northern California working for you. I come from the other side.
I used to live in Germany whenever I was in the military, and every girl that I met, they thought that there was two things. If you were from California, you were a surfer. And I actually have never surfed, so that was a problem. And so they either thought you were that was California. But if you were American, they thought you were one of two things: a surfer, because of that California thing, or a cowboy. And I wasn't either one of them. And so I was like, let me just show you, hey, you guys want to come back to my room, drink a lot of alcohol, and do something that I'm going to regret in the morning? That's kind of what and so here we are. I never mentioned to them that I was from Pennsylvania. I met some girls before, and I was like, oh, I'm from Pennsylvania. And they're like, isn't that where, like, Dracula's from? Jesus. Yes, actually it is.
Yeah, it is. He was just down the street from me.
Yeah. Is that what makes you horny? Because if it is, yes. If it's not, I hate that guy.
That's awesome.
So you're rocking the Bronson. What kind of suspension? Because I think aren't you like a coil guy?
I am a coil guy. Well, I'm a coil guy in back. I want to be a coil guy in front. I want to get that push conversion thing I've got a pike up front. I want to try that push conversion thing. I think it's about $300, I think. Dude,
I'm telling you, if you haven't watched the Biker Bar a few episodes back, there was a guy I did here a show with. There's a guy I did. There's a dude that I did the Biker Bar with a couple weeks ago. He's a super suspension guy, and they have this like bore sprung thing going on, and a handful of my friends have done it. Dude, check it out. Watch that Biker Bar if you haven't watched it.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, dude. I don't know if it's just as much as the push thing, but they got something going on, because everybody that I've talked to about that bore sprung that has pulled the trigger on it, they're stoked about it.
And what's the name of the company again?
Bore sprung is, I think. And please, don't quote me, because I'm horrible with names, places, and so check it out though. Seriously, watch that Biker Bar. It was it's like Suspension 101, I think is what it's called. And dude, everybody that has done that in my group of friends has just been super stoked with how it performs.
That's cool. Yeah,
let's get your little like your Playboy stats. How tall are you? What do you weigh?
Playboy stats. I am a giant gnome at 6'2", and I weigh in at a svelte 250 pounds.
Okay, so you're a big dude, like I am.
I'm a bona fide Clydesdale, that's for sure.
Yeah. So this is the thing that I've always heard about the coil, is that it's super good at keeping you planted on your downhill, but it's also takes a little play out of a bike. And the Bronson traditionally is not a playful bike.
No.
So that is one of the reasons that I've been a little afraid to put that coil on my Bronson, because like everything that everybody says about a coil downhill makes me happy. But once I heard it one time that it takes away the playfulness, I was like, man, this bike's already not that playful.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that. How does it feel to you?
I would almost say that I would first totally agree with you that that VP platform is definitely not a super playful one, but I found that going to the coil, I could kind of make it a little bit more playful, and I could keep the shock from overheating quite as bad, because when you point a 250-pound dude down the hill, we start to, I would kind of cook the air shocks in them. So I found that like if I set the rebound up kind of nice and crisp and fast, I could kind of get some playfulness out of the bike. So I don't know. I've been real happy with it. As soon as I put the coil in the rear, man, the back end all of a sudden had such great traction. And then all of a sudden I was aware of how much better traction the back end of my bike was getting versus the front. Whereas before, when I was running air front and rear, they were both kind of doing a mediocre job. Well, now my back end's doing a great job of traction, and now my front end is doing a mediocre job of it, which makes it.
When you bought that bike, was it like already like dialed? Was it like top of the line, or did you buy like the bottom end and want to build it up, or you're kind of in the middle?
I bought it frame. I bought it as a frame.
So you bought it as a frame. So
yeah,
tell me, this is what I'm going to do to you right now, because I apparently have a little fucking bladder tonight, and I want to know, when you bought that frame, what were the 3 parts that you were like, these are the ones that I need to have? While you talk about those parts, I'm gonna go piss all over the back of my bike.
All right, the 3 parts that the 3 things that I think my bike definitely needed to have. This would have been a really good time for me to have been able to hear that question better. So I'm just gonna roll with this one and think of the 3 things that are most important to me on the bike, which is always the top of the list is always suspension. I want the back end to act the way that I need it to act, and I want the front end to act the way that I need it to act. After that, brakes. I'm a huge fan of the Hope. I think about the Hope E3 Tech 4 or maybe Tech 3 E4. I can't remember what they are, but they're a 4-piston brake. And for a big dude like me, I needed to have that extra stopping power to be able to get the bike under control. But I also needed something that wasn't going to overheat, because I would always cook my Shimano brakes because I'm a big fat dude, and I would blow up my Shimano brakes from time to time, overheating them. So I think that's 2 things. I got suspension, I got brakes, tires. I would definitely say tires. That was one of the first things that I wanted my bike to have. That's really important to me is trying to find the right tire. And I'm always looking for the right tires. I've gone through so many tires. I used to have a stack of tires that was probably, well, actually it was 3 stacks of tires that were probably each about 4 feet tall. So 12 feet tall worth of tires. Rob, what was the question that you asked me?
Wow, I was going for like 30 seconds. Whole lot of that was like six beers that I pissed out, and you took.
That's awesome. I heard something about 3 things on your bike, and then you were gone. I was like,
fill me in here. What was it that you said? What was number 1? And then you just lost it.
The first thing that I want to make sure my bike was set up good for was suspension.
Okay.
And the next thing was brakes, and the next thing was tires.
And then, so you did get 3 things. That was actually that's pretty impressive. So what tires are you running right now, bud?
What's that?
What tires are you running right now?
I tried out. I've been a Maxxis guy forever. This season, I tried out a set of WTB Convicts with like 2.5 front and rear, and ran those tires this whole season. Was really surprised with it, man. They were really good tires, man. I don't know why I kind of just forgot about WTB for a while.
I used to run Navigals.
Yeah.
I ran them because I'm a big dude. And see, this was the thing. When I was running Navigals, everybody back then, like a 2.1 was big for them.
Oh, yeah.
I was running like 2.35 because that's as big as you fucking get them back then. And it was, and everybody like, oh my God, that's so big. And I was like, yeah, go ahead, get my size. So fucking big. And you want a bigger tire. And now everybody's like, oh, 2.8, 3.0, whatever.
Yeah.
And
I'm on my rigid cross country bike with 3-inch wide tires.
So I needed something meaty, so I always rode those. And at one point I was like, you know what? I am such a creature of habit. I need to stop doing this. So I need to find something else. And I just happened to know a friend, and they had some high rollers that they hooked me up with. And I ran the high rollers, and I was like, "Ooh, this is nice." And then since then, I've tried a bunch of stuff. But when I was up at Interbike, I ran back into Kenda, and Kenda is the company that does Navigal. And they told me, they were like, "Hey," actually, when I was talking to them, I said to them, one of the reasons that I stopped running the Navigal was because, dude, it had everything that I wanted on the down, but on the up, that thing was like if you could put suction cups all the way around your tire, and like the way that you could think like an octopus just sticking on everything, like that's how that tire was when you were climbing. So it was like, nice. And that doesn't work well for a fucking fat guy, at least when he's climbing. Like when you're descending, that's awesome, but climbing that sucks.
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped running the Navigal. And so I told this dude at Kenda that, and he's like, let me tell you something. We actually fixed that. And so he gave me a Navigal, the new one. He said, I want to say, please don't quote me, because like I said earlier, that was quotes and links and names. I want to say that he said it was like 50% rolling faster. And then he gave me a tire also that he's like, if you like the Navigal, you'll really like this. And I think it's called like the Hellcat or something like that. So I have those sitting on the other side of my garage, but I have a set of DHF, DHR, which everybody's running on my bike right now. And I just was waiting for those to like wear out. And once they wear out, I'm going to use those Kendas and these KER system that I have sitting back behind me and see what that's all about.
Nice.
Have you done KER?
I do. I ran KER for the first time this season. So early on this season.
Tell me about the install. I want to know about the install.
Oh, it's weird. I don't know. I made my video for an install kind of a thing earlier this summer. Excuse me. When we first put those on my bike, one of my buddies did one wheel, and he's like, "Here, watch me, and I'll do this." And then I just kind of watched him do it. And I think we had both tires, both things installed, tires inflated, sealant, everything in like 20 minutes.
Oh wow! So you basically just told me you're a god.
Well, yeah, right. That's why I'm almost afraid to say that.
A couple months ago, dude, I went up to Bend, Oregon. I was up there freaking hanging out with Project 321. I didn't know, but apparently that is like, it's kind of like the Silicon Valley of mountain bikes. There's like all these companies up there that are just like blowing up that nobody knew that was up there. So I was going up to meet Project 321. I was like, oh, let's see who else is in town. And I found out like Evo Gimbals is up there. Freaking Schwabi Tires is up there. Project 321 is up there. And also KER. So in the process, I was like, oh, I'm going to call these companies up, see if they want to talk to some YouTube famous motherfucker. Yeah, right. And so I rolled over to KER, and they hooked me up. And honestly, dude, I don't remember where I was going with that. You said something that was really interesting to me, but I'm going to finish that sentence real quick. Like, they hooked me up with the KER, and I really want to try it. Yeah. What was it that I was saying before I started that whole rant?
I think just like how hard is it to do the KER?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for wrapping me back in. So real quick, while I was there at KER, the owner of KER is like, dude, I can do this in like 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'm calling your bluff, motherfucker. Because anybody that knows my channel, dude, I'm gonna say some stupid shit right about now.
Right about now.
And so he had one of his lackeys come out. He's like, yeah, I don't need to do that. I'm not gonna bother my time with you little lowly like 3,000 subscriber YouTubers. No, honestly, he was super cool about it. But anyways, the dude that came out, he installed it in 3 minutes.
Wow.
I couldn't fucking believe it, dude. Like, couldn't believe it.
What it all comes down to is I think two things. One is the rim, whatever kind of rim you have. So I have I9 wheels, and I've also I put some KERs on my buddy's wheels. Steve, if my buddy Steve is watching, I'm forgetting what wheels he has. But he had some kind of E13 wheels. I think he had some E13 wheels. But they went on pretty well with that. But I've heard different rims. There's always that couple millimeters or something. But that's what
I tell my lady every time. Just a little couple millimeters or something.
That's right. But no, it's all in this weird little hand technique of like.
That's what they were saying. They were calling it like the grab and roll. I can't remember. Yeah. I'm gonna put that video up. I got it's coming. But he was saying it was like just the way that you kind of like roll it on there, kind of this like I don't know if like for those of you guys that are listening, kind of like this weird like if you were like an Italian rolling fucking dough back in the day, it's like kind of this like grab it with 2 hands and just roll that fucker over, and then you just popped it right on there, dude.
Yeah. If you can imagine, if you can imagine doing something with your hands to try to make the beat of the tire rest up against where the nipples of the spoke would be. Like you're just trying to bury that tire in the deepest part of the wheel, because that's where the smallest.
The thing that he had said to me and that he showed me on the video that I recorded was like he put it on top of a trash can and he used a like a Pedro's tire lever, and it was like you have to push the tire into that channel all the way around. And he's like, that's what most people don't do, is they just kind of like half-ass it. And he's like, they do it like at like 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And check this out, 9 o'clock. That's the best math I can do. And he's like, instead you need to do it at like 1 and 1:30 and 1:45 and 2 o'clock. And if you do it all the way around, you get that tire really seated into the middle of the rim. And he's like, dude, this is like, you watched it, Rob. It happened. And I was blown away, man, how quick he did it. He took a brand new tire out, He took the cush core right out of the box. So it wasn't like this was like pre-stretched by the family.
Yeah.
But like, and he just
machining back and stretches the tires out for him.
That's what I was expecting. I was like, oh yeah, this is the install model. You know?
The other thing I'll tell you, when you put them on, so like you're going to use your hands to, like, once you start getting the tire in there, you're going to work your hands around the wheel and trying to get the bead in there. As soon as you work your hand around the part or around the tire enough to where that bead starts getting, like it's getting hard to tuck in there, or if you're using a tire lever, if it starts getting hard, stop, go back to the opposite side of the tire and tuck that tire in a little bit more. And that's the part that I think a lot of people do is they get the, let's say you're starting at the 6 o'clock portion of the tire, and your left hand is going up around to 7, 8, 9 to 12, and your right hand's going around the other way. As the tire starts to get tight, they break out the tire levers, and then they start sweating and putting all this elbow grease into this thing, when they should have, like, as soon as it starts getting really tight to get any more of the bead to go into the wheel, go back to that 6 o'clock position with both hands and shove that tire further in more. And as you work your way back, as you work both hands around the wheel again, you'll go another inch further on each side. And then as soon as that starts to tighten up, go back again, and you'll do it over and over and over again, and 3 or 4 times. And then I've gotten it to the point where, like, I can get all but like the last 3 inches of the tire without any levers at all, and then the last little bit is just one little flop in a lever. And it gets.
Have you ever watched the channel No Front Brakes?
Yeah.
He does a little section called the Terrible Technician. I
haven't seen that part.
You haven't seen it?
No. I've watched his riding videos, like his racing videos. He's in Texas, isn't he?
What he does is he tries not to like read any direction or anything, like no instructions. And hey, I'm going to install something. I'm going to do something on my bike, and I'm just going to try to figure it out. And he's really bad at it. And but that's what's really funny about it, is just like him trying to figure it out, and maybe he calls a friend or whatever. So recently, I don't know if you watched my video, maybe it was last week, the week before, I'm not sure. I did a little spinoff of his called The Drunken Technician.
Oh my God, even better, man.
That's when you get 2 guys that are completely fucking hammered, and you see how well they can do with some bike work. And I'm thinking that episode 2 of The Drunken Technician needs to be putting on the fucking cush score. There's a good chance that I may just set my whole garage on fire and call it a day, but I think it's gonna be good, dude.
That's awesome.
So when you're riding that cush core, what did you really like see?
Oh man,
because when I talked to them, like, they were saying that, a lot of people think a cush core is just a means to save your rim, But they were like, dude, this is a suspension platform. Like, it really changes how you corner. Like, the save your rim part, they're like, that's like an added benefit, But really, it really changes you being able to like lower your pressure, have more grip, and then corner well, because it like supports that sidewall. Did you really see that?
Big time. And in fact, the video that I made for the cush core thing was getting everyone's perception of that product past the pinch flat thing. It's like, I'm 250 pounds and I was running, just regular tubeless tires. I didn't get flat tires, I mean, we got them from time to time, but
so, hang on. Let me ask you this real quick before you go further. At 250, what pressure do you run before CushCore?
So before CushCore, it would have been 32 up front and 30 in the rear.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been between like 250 and right now, unfortunately, 290, and I run 30-30. So you're definitely running, as far as like, what most of the internet fucking talks about, a high pressure. So what happened once you threw the CushCore in?
So right now, I would run before CushCore, I would run the front tire about 2 psi softer than the rear, so that it would hold on a little bit more, and the back end would break out. With CushCore, I run 25 and 25 on both of them, and that's with a 2.5-inch tire.
Oh, and
wow! I'm also not one of those guys that, like, I heard so many people talking about, oh, it's so great because you can run, the super, super crazy low tire pressure. And that may work for skinny guys, but man, a big guy like me, when I throw that bike into the corner, if I'm down in like those crazy low PSI ranges, you can feel the back end kind of wobble around a little bit.
Yeah, it'll get wobbly, or you'll burp it, or like you'll just lose it. I mean, that's part of where, like, there's guys that are on the small end that will, they can run some low profile tires that work great. And for me, it, like, you can put those lower tread profiles on, and yes, it climbs amazing. And yes, it descends fast as fuck. But the first corner or the first time that you need to brake, you're fucked. But I want to mention this real quick. Somebody on here said CushCore for lighter riders. Dude, I can tell you, and I haven't had it on my bike, but I can tell you from the people that I've talked to, and I'll let you back this up. If you were 150, like this guy says he's 143, and you put those in, it is going to make a huge change on your cornering and the amount of pressure that you can run. And what is pressure? At the end of the day, like, people are like, oh, well, why do you want it lower? Everybody else wants something to be bigger, my girlfriend or my old lady, but really what you want that lower pressure for is so that your tire is hooking up more and you can get that hero dirt experience when it's not hero dirt.
Most definitely. Yeah, I would, for that lighter weight rider, I would not only agree with you, but I would almost be willing to bet that lighter weight rider will experience even more benefits.
Yeah, definitely.
From that tire, just because the thing that I love about CushCore is the cornering. I'm a corner guy. I love throwing the bike hard into the corners, but being a big guy, you got to kind of watch what you do. I've rolled tires off of rims before. We've all done that. And that's definitely not a fun way to spend your bike ride. So that's a real good way to have a bad experience. Yeah. I had an awesome a little piece of video from earlier this year. Excuse me. I'm riding behind my buddy, and at the time we literally had exactly the same. We had a Maxxis DHF in the front, and we had a Maxxis semi-slick in the rear. We were running the same tires front and rear.
This is the ADD in me. Can you please just hopefully the answer to this? Is the reason it's called DHF and DHR is F is front and R is rear?
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. That's what I've been thinking all this time. And I'm like, I don't know if that's the truth. And the only way that I'm gonna find out is either A, look it up, lazy as fuck, or B, ask somebody and embarrass myself on the internet. So hopefully I'm right.
I love asking the question. I would rather ask the question and look dumb than look something up.
Right.
Up sucks, man. It's so much, because if you look something up, then you've just had a relationship with a book. But if you ask somebody a question, you just started the dialogue with another person. So it could go anywhere.
Yeah.
But so I was following him off of this. It was like a little 4-foot little ledge type of a drop, but we were landing on this off camber. It was an off camber landing, and it was kind of like gravel on hard pack kind of soil. So it was already kind of it's a challenging type of thing to be landing on. but I went right behind him, same speed, same tires, same technique, everything. He landed, the bike went straight. He landed it like it was on a totally easy flat transition. He had cush core, I did not. And then when I landed it and I heard both tires, because it was off camber, I heard both tires wallow, and then the bike cut hard, up the hill, because I started kind of cutting out of cutting off of that off camber.
They burped on you?
What's that?
They burped on you?
Yeah, they both tires burped on me. And when I saw that, I was amazed that was one of those things where I went, wait a minute, dude, my buddy's bike just did something that my bike cannot do. And it has something to do with those cush core things that are in there. So when I got him, the huge, it was a night and day difference on the kind of lines that you can pick, because us big guys, we always have to choose some of the most delicate lines, because we'll just thrash a tire.
So you're a Gen 1 Bronson guy, so
yes,
there's two things I want to ask you, and I'm going to ask you both of them. You answer whichever one you want.
All right.
Probably going to forget what one of those questions are while I'm talking.
Right.
One of them is 27.5. Holy shit, there's not a lot of us doing that. Yeah. And 2 is, I already forgot 2. So let's go ahead and stick with 2. With 1, 2, 1, 2. So why 27.5, buddy?
Well, so funny story.
I just remember
before this bike, I had a 26-inch wheeled bike, and I was the last of any of my friends. All of my friends all had the 27.5 wheels, and I actually had a sticker on the side of my bike that said, "I ride 26 because fuck you."
Oh, dude, I love it.
So I love the 26 thing. And then, so I was late to the 27.5 game, already out of the gate. And as soon as I got the 25, the bike that I had the 26-inch wheels, I finally broke that frame in half. It was a Yeti SB66, aluminum frame. And I finally rode it enough that it just kind of gave out, and I cracked a swing arm. And when I called Yeti, they were like, "Yeah, we don't know that we're going to be making any more back ends for an aluminum SB66, because they were in the carbon game, big and strong." Right. So I realized at that point I'm gonna have to get some bigger wheels, and it seemed like a lot of the 29-inch wheels, the 29-inch bikes at the time, and this is 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, it seemed like a lot of the bigger wheeled bikes were still kind of had that cross country geometry, and they weren't.
Dude, I will tell you, when I was riding those bikes at that time, and I rode the Chameleon today for the first time on the trail. It's 29er right now, the way it's set up. The thing that I hated the most about 29er was I came from a BMX background, so I was always like used to a little wheel, and I was with you, dude. I was a 26 all day. Yeah. And every time that I got on a 29er, I felt like it picked the line, not me. Yeah. Like I'd come into something like I'm used to be able to throw the bike around, like pick this, pick that. And what the 29er would do is like, "Hey, fuck you. We're going straight." And then you just lean a little bit, and that's the way we're going. And that's what I really didn't like about it,
Yeah. I always felt like they were great climbers. They were terrible descenders, and even worse cornering, worse at cornering. They just felt sketchy. I always felt exactly like you were saying. I always felt like when you come into a corner or something like that, I always felt like I was coming in behind the bike, because the bike just kind of had its own agenda.
I'll tell you, and I hate to say this out loud, but this is a little spoiler alert for the next video that comes out on the Biker channel, but cornering on the Chameleon today, I don't know if it had just to do with the wheel size or the geometry or it's a hardtail, but man, holy shit, this thing is like on rails on corners, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
they have it. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I'm just really impressed with.
Yeah, I love my Bronson, but eventually it's gonna break, as every bike that's ever been underneath of my underneath my body has ever done. So whenever it breaks, I think my next one will be a 29er.
I don't know if I can say that yet. I do like 29er. I do understand where it comes from, and I am definitely warming up to it. This is going to be like my like and subscribe thing that I was talking about earlier. Like I'm probably going to eat a shoe on this at one point or another. But as it is right now, I still have that, like, I love this is the best term that I have for it, the flickability of the smaller wheel. Like, I feel like it's just more nimble, and they have definitely gotten way better at it. But oh man, there's like a big part of me just doesn't want to accept this new wheel size. Yeah, or that bigger wheel size, not new wheel size, that bigger wheel size.
Exactly. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think there will always be something that smaller wheel can do that the bigger wheel can't. And I think it's going to be that flickability thing, because, you know, you can do whatever you want to the geometry of the bike. You can play around with it all you want. At the end of the day, you've got a tire that has a much different gyroscopic effect on the rider. And that gyroscopic effect happens whether you're on the ground or in the air. It happens, if you're going through a corner versus any of that. And that gyroscopic effect, you're going to have to give up some stuff,
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, and that was the thing that always made me. Well, I mean, that's why I have a Bronson. That when a lot of other people were doing the 29 thing, is that I still felt like my Bronson had that flickability that I could, I could still have fun on the bike.
So I'm glad that you said that, because that led into the second question that I forgot and remembered. I actually wrote it down so that I wouldn't forget it again. Short-term memory loss. When I was in high school smoking pot, and they would say, "Oh, you're gonna smoke pot, get short-term memory loss." I never happened. Now I'm fucked. Every time I fucking say something, don't remember shit. Don't even smoke pot anymore, but still got all the short-term memory loss.
Right?
So I was like, I got something on these bitches. No, I don't. Or I'm just getting old. One of the two. The shit's.
I still blame it on the age.
Right. I'm blaming it on the age. Definitely was none of the bad decisions that I made. So. Right. Second question that I had for you, though, is you got a Gen 1 fucking Bronson. So that was 2013, 2014. Yep. Dude. Yep. And so if you were looking at a new bike today, what has your attention, brother?
You know what? I would have said, and it's still on my list. The Konas, Kona, man, they're playing around with the geometry and stuff on those bigger wheels, and they're fun to play with.
That is not the bike brand that I expected to hear out of your mouth. I want to know why. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that was a wild card.
It was, dude. You just pulled the fucking the Charlie out of It's Only Sunny in Philadelphia, man. Like, wild card. Here it comes, fucking Kona, dude. What?
Yeah, no, they seem to be pretty playful, but I just heard that Noli has come out with what is it? No, the Fugitive, I think.
Okay,
like a kind of a mid-travel 29er. But I've always heard Nolis were just phenomenal bikes, but I've never had one. I've never thrown a leg over one. But
the Kona is what has your attention.
Yeah. So I have a Process 111 that's a 29er. It's more of a cross country type of bike, and it's Kona's like first generation. Kind of a. And Kona was one of those first bike brands to start doing the long, low, slack kind of geometry.
You know where they're from? I don't even know where Kona's from.
They're just north of you, like Bellingham, Vancouver.
Okay, so they're like a PNW kind of brand.
Yeah. So I figure they ride all that steep, crazy, those slick routes and all that stuff. So, and those guys, man,
perfect dirt all year. Those fucking.
Yeah. And those guys are not afraid to jump the bikes and
I swear to God, everybody up there is just born with a bicycle.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody that I see that ride, they're like, "Hey, look at this 10-year-old. He's shredding way better than you will ever."
Right?
I was like, it's all about the dirt and the size of their body. That's what it is.
Exactly. Their center of gravity is where my kneecaps are.
Right.
Yeah. It's. Can you imagine being a 10-year-old kid right now, growing up in the mountain bike scene up in the Pacific Northwest? I mean, that would be just phenomenal to have these bikes and those trails.
The way that the bikes are made,
mm-hmm.
You would not think a technology being a bike that has been around for a long time would change as much as it has in like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Like I have always been a very big like person that says get a used bike, save your money, whatever. And just recently, I would say within the last year, I've got to the point where it's like, don't upgrade your bike, dude. Sell your bike and just buy a new one. Even if it's the bottom of the line one, it's probably going to be better than your top of the line bike from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It is really that much of a difference. And I hate saying that, like, because to me, like, I'm the cheap ass dude. Like, I don't want to spend money on my bike. And that is so true though now. Like the suspension, like these little degrees, like a couple of degrees in your seat tube, a degree or two in your head tube, like a couple of millimeters in your top tube, like being longer, like it has really like changed the game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I've always been one of those guys that would buy a nice bike and then ride it until I just blew it up and then get another bike. And usually at that time, they would kind of come up with a couple things that are new here or there. But geez, now it seems like every year they're coming up with things that are, each generation of these bikes just keeps getting more and more refined. I think that's super cool.
So you got this channel, you've got 1,500 subs. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow you're going to wake up with 5,000.
No. If I wake up with 5K tomorrow, I'll be out at your place by the end of the week. I'll take you out to a steak dinner and then we'll hang out.
I'm gonna see if I can hack some YouTubes because that shit ain't gonna happen.
Right.
So like seriously though, I mean, here you say you've been doing this for 2 years. Where would you like to see yourself in the next year? That was a tough
holy
question.
Smokes, Rob.
How about this?
Okay, so I know how.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I know how I want to answer this question.
This is but you can answer how the fuck you want, dude.
But it would probably be kind of dropping a bombshell on a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, do it. Let's see it.
But hey, this seems like kind of a cool place to, since you asked the question.
Yeah, let's do it.
So for 2019, my wife and I are moving out to Grand Junction, Colorado. So I'm gonna get to go out and play in the desert and ride in the rocks and ride all that kind of stuff. So yeah, for the channel, I'm hoping to bring the channel out to the west slope of Colorado. And
there's a few other guys in Colorado out there, man.
There's
I see a few of them on the chat here. Outdoor Gold's out that way.
Yep. RC
is out that way. Fucking Trail Features is out that way.
Yeah.
There's apparently a red lab walking into my garage out that way. There's Crashing Dads out that way.
Yep.
Oh god, I feel like I'm fucking shitting on somebody by forgetting who they are right now. But
I got some the tag along.
There's a Kyle. What's the Kyle's name?
Oh, Unprofessional Kyle.
There you go. He's good.
Yeah, I rode with those guys a few weeks ago. They are awesome riders. There's also some dude named Tag Along MTB.
Yeah,
he is a shredder, man.
Yeah,
that guy.
If you guys haven't watched his channel, definitely swing by. I think he was with STS not too long ago.
Yeah, he's ridden with all the guys out there. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping to do more collaborations with other YouTubers. Is kind of my thing, and to kind of keep, just kind of keep doing this, keep riding.
You're moving a couple 100 miles closer to me because you just want closer to me, right? That's what.
It's actually 1,000 miles from my house. It's right at 1,000 miles, I think. That's like 992 miles or something like that from.
Oh shit!
So.
Dude, I am looking forward to going to Colorado. I have never ridden there.
You haven't? Well, you got a place to stay,
Yeah, dude. Are you planning on going to any events next year? I'm hoping to get my ass down. Not hoping. I will be at Sedona. So those of you guys that are listening, if you're thinking about Sedona, go to Sedona. It is honestly the only place in my life that I've been at. If you stand and you look at, let's just say you're looking at 12 o'clock, you turn your body to 3 o'clock, it's a postcard. Turn your body to fucking 6 o'clock, it's a postcard. Turn your body to 9 o'clock, it's a postcard. It is beautiful there. And the riding is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. That town right there was one of the reasons why we started looking at kind of that Grand Junction area, is because Grand Junction's in this awesome location where, like in the wintertime when things get really cold, you're like 5 hours, like maybe 5-6 hours away from Sedona. So you could get down and experience some of their riding, and it's it's just in a good location. I've never ridden Sedona either, so have you ridden Sedona before?
Yeah, I rode some of it, and some of it I fucking cried my eyes out on because I'm afraid of heights, and they have a lot of heights there. So if you're afraid of heights, be warned.
They're not afraid to send you right to the edge of.
They're like, oh, you thought you had big balls? Let me show you how small they are, Robert.
Yeah, it's bonkers out there.
What's got you going over that way, man? You just decided, like, you're like, fuck it, dude. The YouTube truck came in. I'm going to Colorado, motherfuckers.
I'm making YouTube money, bitches. I've made $12.31 so far, man.
I'm all in, bitches.
All I got to do is figure out what color I want my Lamborghini. No, I think it just kind of came with the kids. Both kids are in college now, and my wife and I thought, we've been here for a while, and check out a different riding scene, and everything out there in the desert is cool because it's dry, and you get a nice long riding season.
So your old lady rides too?
She does. She does a little bit. Yeah, she doesn't like going off the stupid shit that I do because she's
been on the channel at all.
What's that?
Has she been on the channel at all?
She did. When we were up in Minnesota, she's been in she's just in one video now that I think about it.
My lady doesn't even watch my fucking shit. She's like, I get enough of your crap. Fucking all it. Like, you think I want to watch a video of that bullshit?
Exactly.
I'm good.
I was always afraid of that too, because I was like, all I ever do is talk about mountain biking. That's all I've ever been doing, and now I've just like taken it and turned it all the way up to 13.
Right. Yeah, because my lady was like, "Oh, you don't shut up about mountain bikes, and then you start doing YouTube."
Yeah. Yeah. So, but she didn't get too tired of me talking about bikes all the time. But yeah, she got to ride in her first Horns High video, and she crashed like 3 times, and it was all behind me in the video. But one of the crashes was pretty significant that I later found out, because we're like riding on some trail, and I've got the 2 kids in front of me. I got my wife coming up in rear, and I've been riding for a little while, and I look back and I'm like, I don't see my wife. I go through a couple more corners. I'm like, oh, I still don't see my wife. And then I stopped for a little bit, and I waited. I'm like, uh-oh. I'm like, she's usually been kind of like right there behind me on everything. So she fell off of a bridge. We were riding some trail in Minnesota that had all these weird little bridges, and they'd be anywhere between like 2 and 4 feet off the ground. And somehow she fell off the bridge, which I will give her credit though. That was her first time riding a 29er on that trip. So she was probably dealing with all that center of gravity that we're talking about. And of course I gave her no warning whatsoever. I was like, yeah, this is just like your 26-inch. Just trust me.
Not me. Yeah, right. So I noticed you're wearing, what does the hat say on it? Does it say Fender?
It does, yeah.
That's what there's brand recognition, right? Part of the reason that I put my fucking logo up in the upper right-hand corner of every video is for brand recognition. Yep. And when I saw that, I'm a guitarist as well, dude. So tell me why you're wearing a Fender hat, dude.
It's actually, I don't play Fender guitars, but
do you play guitar?
But yeah, I play a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I like the style of hat, and I found this hat, and I was like, maybe I'll just kind of like, maybe people will think that I play Fenders, and I'll just kind of roll with it. But yeah, I don't play
guitar well enough to get laid in high school.
Yes.
And after that, I'm fucked. So
Yeah. So you said you play guitar, but you were also on the audio side of things.
Yeah.
Were you wanting to go into studio and production?
Yeah, I went to school for studio recording and had a job offer at a major studio here in the NorCal area that they had just recently at that time, I'm gonna date the shit out of myself. They had just finished the Foley work for The Sixth Sense, and they had just finished I think it was Santana's album that they did. It was like that kind of like revival Santana album. They did like Green Day and stuff like that. And right at that time, my son was on his way. And I just kind of like reevaluated my life at that point because I was working at Home Depot, going to college, and I was making like $10 an hour at Home Depot, which was good money at that time.
That's good money, man.
Right. But like the studio was in Berkeley, which would have been like another 30 minutes from where I lived, in traffic, probably an hour. And and they were like, we're going to pay you $6.25 to like clean microphones and get coffee. And at that point I was like, I really want to be in the music industry, but I don't know if this is what I want to do. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. I'm just going to try to be a little bit of a responsible person because I want to like raise my kid with some kind of like, Dad's trying to be a rock star. I didn't want him to do that, you know. And so I was like, I'm just going to go to school for whatever fucking feels good. And I was always just interested in computers, and I started taking computer classes. And next thing you know, that's what I fell into. I've always chased my passions.
Yeah.
So when I was doing that, it was like being in a band, going to studio recording, going to school for studio recording, like trying to get into the industry that way. And then whenever my passion changed to like computers, I went that way. And right now, here's me like pivoting again.
Yeah.
I'm digging this fucking YouTube thing, dude. I fucking love it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, man. I've been a dream chaser my whole life, man. I have the words "live, love, and ride with passion" tattooed on the side of my leg because I'm like, those are words that I live by. Like, do something, like whatever it is that you do, just do it passionately and give it everything you got. So
I think if you're like following it that way, dude, if you are chasing whatever you're happy about, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Honestly, like there is like, yeah, dude, at the end of the day, somebody has to fucking pay the fucking cable bill. Somebody has to pay the water bill. Somebody has to pay the electrical bill. But if you chase your passion and you actually, and this is the key point, actually put everything that you have into it, you will be successful. You will be. Even if you're shitty at it. If you started a YouTube channel today and you were shitty at it, but you gave it everything you fucking had.
Yep.
Everything you had. And you stuck through it, even through all that time that everybody was telling you weren't worth shit.
Yeah.
You will make it.
Yep.
It's whether or not you have it to make it through that time that you're not making it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's my channel right now, trying to make it through the time that I'm not making.
That's right. We're all in that boat, right? Yeah. No, I mean, and it's hard not to. You were talking earlier at the beginning of your show about when people like and subscribe and when they engage, you feed off of that. You know, when you get those thumbs up and you're like, you know, man, my last video, you know, it's like some people said that this thing that I did was really cool and they really like this, really like that, and then that fuels your motivation to keep doing more stuff. You know, so if you're sitting there trying to grow this thing and it's not doing what you want, you nail it on the head. You just got to keep doing. You got to keep knowing that at the end of the day, you know, you're enjoying what you're doing. You know, I love making these videos. That
you also have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, it was like, dude, Rob, your videos are they're not doing well. You know why they're not doing well? You're doing that like age old like psychopath thing. You know, like keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. And it was like, you know what, dude? Shit's not fucking working out that way. Now I need to be real with myself. What I'm doing right now is not working. Change it up.
Yeah.
Get up, man.
Yeah.
You know? And
yeah, especially
that's what started the biker bar, man. It was like, you know what? I want to do something different. All these other people are doing this. I'm going to do this because, hey, dude, I'm not a shredder. I'm not a fucking pillar of fitness, but hey, I do have a good personality. I do chat with people well. At least I think I do. You know what I mean? So it's like, let's get on the biker bar. Let's have a good fucking time. I got on whenever I was, to make a long story short, when I started listening to podcasts, I wanted to listen to some mountain bike podcasts. And I'm not a guy that likes talking about grams. And I'm not a guy that likes talking about like the viscosity of this. And I'm not a guy that likes talking about like, you know, well, the power meter of that, you know, like my flux capacitor is based around, let's just have a good fucking time.
Exactly.
And when I was looking for a podcast that talked about mountain biking, they all did all those things that I said I'm not about. So I just wanted to start a podcast that was like, hey, let's hear a couple of dudes just talk, whether they're fucking professional riders, whether they're a company that is like doing good things, whether they're just two dudes trying to fucking like two D-list YouTubers trying to come the fuck up. Like, let's do that, you know? And I think that's what's interesting. And so that's why I decided to try this, you know?
Yeah. I love it. I love the idea of just regular dude mountain bikers hanging out and enjoying, you know, because like if you look at my channel, none of my stuff, I don't talk about VO2 thresholds or any of the like my wattage or any of that stuff. Like I'm so like when I come out of a corner, I know if I did it right or wrong. I don't need to have a gadget that tells me that I screwed it up. I already know I screwed it up because I blew the corner or whatever, you know. So I don't get too caught up on the technology and the you know, all that, the viscosity and all that kind of stuff. I would much rather hear your story about when you were out riding with your buddy and then you came across this one thing and this funny thing happened and then we did this thing and then my buddy, you know, rode off this thing that he didn't think he was going to be able to ride off of, and you know, he had a good time. And you know, I'm way more interested in the fun and the experience rather than the, you know, the nitty gritty and the viscosity and the.
And I think that's part of me, dude. Like my personality is like I got guys that I work with, and they're like the textbook guys, you know, and they will tell me all that like stuff. Yeah. And for me, like I just want to know the top level. And that for me is like what's most enjoyable to me is like the top level and the experience of the people. And like so many times, like when this one guy I work with, he's like, "Oh, dude, you got to read this article." And I'm like, "Just tell me what caught your attention."
Yeah. You know,
like,
what did you get out of that article?
Give me the meat and potatoes, man, because like that's just like I don't fall into that group that really wants to know that. And it's tough too because like, dude, reviews do well on YouTube.
Yes,
I am not a good review. Every time I've done a review, like when I did the review of the new Bronson, thank God I had my buddy Steve Y with me because he talked about how he felt about it and how it cornered, and I was like, yeah, it pedaled.
Yeah.
I like that. It was gray.
Yes. It went up the hill and then it went down the hill. And when I got done, I was smiling and I went and ate some Mexican food and had a margarita.
The color palette was awesome.
Yeah, right.
And the beer was just as good when I was done.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. I thought of a question. So we're talking about, you know, it's wintertime right now. So what were some like some of your most memorable rides that you've had this year? Like where did you ride at? Because aren't you close to Tahoe?
Yes, I am very close to Tahoe, but I'll tell you right now, hands down, as soon as you ask me that question, the very first place that comes to mind is South Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. Such an amazing fucking place. Fortunately, I do IT. The company I work for has an office in Phoenix, and I went down there for some work and squeezed in a mountain bike ride. Oh my God, dude.
Nice.
And there's some of it that may not be like as epic as it could be, you know, but to me, like I felt like I was riding on the moon. I've never been in a place that looked like that. And the way that the terrain was so foreign to anything that I've ever ridden in. It was just so much fun.
Nice.
And the climbs were horrible. Horrible. But as much as I love bitching about climbing, I love that, like, this challenged me so bad, where it's like, I can't wait to go back and try to walk up this hill again. And hopefully I walk up it just a little less than I did this time.
Yeah.
You know? And like, it was fantastic. And maybe it was because, you know, I had some great people there. Two of my subscribers met me out there. We rode, and I truly, truly enjoyed that place. I cannot wait to go back.
Nice.
How about you, dude? What was big for you this year?
Big for me. I'm trying to think. Definitely one of our biggest rides that we had this year was
what stood out to you the most?
I think, man, I've had some good rides this year. I really have. But I want to say that Steamboat Springs was probably one of the areas that
where is that? Give us the 411 on that one.
Steamboat Springs is in Colorado, and I would put it at kind of geographically, I think it's kind of centrally located, and maybe a little bit south, like basically kind of in the middle of the state, if I remember right. I could be wrong. It was my first time riding there, but it just had like the views. You know, the views were spectacular out there. Everything was so damn steep. And we really felt like we were riding some really backcountry, you know, kind of stuff. But
like where you feel like, dude, this is mountain biking.
Yeah. I'm big into that these days. My favorite kind of riding. I did when I started out, it was only cross country. That was just mountain biking. There weren't other kinds of mountain bikes. There were just mountain bikes, you know. So you rode a mountain bike, and that was what you rode. And then all of a sudden, it was, you know, downhill became popular, and I had the perfect physique for that. I'm a big, bulky, muscly guy. So when I hit the ground, I tend to kind of, I don't break bones as much. I tend to, and I've got gravity working for me and that thing. So I did downhill for a long time. But man, these days, for about the past 8 years, I've definitely, once these Bronson, these bikes like these Bronsons, you talk about this technology, that Bronson has better suspension than my downhill bike did. And I can climb anything with that Bronson, you know? So being able to have a bike that I can pedal, way back into some backcountry stuff and kind of get lost. I kind of like that feel. But
when I first got on the Bronson, one of the things, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like I had an old bike and I upgraded it and everything seemed fine to me. And when I got on that Bronson and the way that it pedaled uphill, it really did blow my mind.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, and I was expecting to get this fucking like this badass, but it's a $10,000 bike. I got it used for fucking $5,000, so at the end, I didn't spend that, and it also took me to sell my house to be able to get that. But
right.
It wasn't like I'm just a baller over here, like,
that's the real reason about my YouTube channel.
Sold my house. I'm like, look, bitch, this is the way it's going. I'm getting a bike, and then we're getting a new house, and you get that kitchen you want. No, but I was expecting to get on that bike and just be blown away by my downhill skills, and honestly, the climbing is what really just blew me away the most.
Yeah, I would totally agree. They'll scramble up some rocks really, really good.
Yeah. So this is what I want to know from you, dude.
Yeah.
What's up with Horns High? Why is it Horns High? I don't remember if I asked this already, but I'm gonna ask it again.
No.
What is Horns High? Why did you come up with that for your name?
That's a good question, and I get asked that question a lot. I was going over. I'm big into photography, and I was going over a bunch of these photos that I'd taken with my buddies, and and you look on Instagram and you see these group pictures of these guys that go out and they go ride someplace, and then while they're on the ride, they snap a quick photo of everybody so they can kind of remember the ride, and inevitably, at least one or two people, when they take that picture, They raise those horns up. It's just like, this is the universal symbol for.
So for the people that are listening, when he said raise those horns, he did like the stoke emoji with his hand there.
Yeah, the devil horns, the stoke horns. But yeah, it's one of those things where I was like, man, if I could really make some videos that kind of captured that experience, that just makes people like, why do we do that? Like, it's a silly hand gesture, but you look at mountain bikers across the world, and when they take pictures, the horns come up, and that's kind of like, that's letting everybody know that we're having fun doing this bike ride thing. And I'm like, it's the fun, again, back to the experience. It's the fun part of it. It's not the I'm holding up my latest, greatest technology mountain bike. I'm raising my horns because I'm out here having fun, with my buddies. And I was like, that's what mountain biking is all about to me.
I don't know if you told me or I read it on your blog or your Instagram or in Slack. We were talking about it. There was a picture that inspired it, I think.
Yeah. There's a picture of me and my buddies were up in Fernie, British Columbia 2 years ago. 2 years ago? 3 years ago now. Sorry. And one of my buddies has a converted short bus that he's converted into like a bike hauling, road trip mobile. And then my other buddy at the time drove this vehicle called a Pinzgauer. And it's a six-wheel drive, like old military vehicle from, don't quote me, I want to think like the Ukraine maybe, but it was like this, it's a six-wheel drive, like it's a six-wheeled vehicle off the bat, so it's really strange looking. But we spent some time up there camping, and I set the camera up on a timer to like take a picture like every 2 or 3 seconds, and turned it on, and we went over there and stood in front of the camera and in front of our vehicles, and no one said anything. No one said, hey, do this thing with your horns. But like all 5 of us were just horns to the heavens, having a great time out there. And every time I look at that picture, I'm like that feeling, when I look at that feeling, when I look at that photo, that feeling that I get, I'm like, I want to see if I can make videos that can, show people that you can have this cool experience. Like,
whatever I saw, like you said that whenever you snapped that picture was snapped. Like, there was no like, hey, let's do this. Like when that picture was snapped, everybody had the horns up. Yeah. And it was like, oh, dude, that's awesome, man. Like everybody did that.
Yeah. When you see the photo and you're like, oh man, there's all of us, and we're all having that good time, So yeah.
You got an Instagram?
Yeah. Horns High MTB.
Horns High MTB.
Yeah.
You got. Do you have like a short name to your YouTube channel, or just search Horns High MTB as well?
Yeah, if you search Horns High MTB or Horns High Mountain Biking,
right on.
You'll just look for the shield it's a black and white shield with mountains in the background, and you'll see it. I should be able to pop up.
I made some jokes earlier about you and snakes. I think the first video that I ever saw, you're just fucking rolling down this trail, and next thing you know, you pick up this fucking snake, and you got it curling all over your arm. And you've done this more than once in a video. Are you like a snake person? Like, because you're like, oh, this is like an East Lithuanian redback scale, and you knew, like, why do you know all this shit about snakes, dude?
Well, so back when I was going to try to go to college and make a go of it, if you want to talk about chasing dreams,
I love it all.
And not only chasing dreams, but just how naive and ignorant people like us, the dream chasers, can be. Because I walked into a major university as a much later returning to college, like I was a high school dropout and then got a GED. And when I was like in my 20s,
so that's why you're joking that's why you were laughing at my pot jokes earlier, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I went to a major.
All you kids listening right now, don't do that.
Don't do that. Not good for you, I think. I'm not sure. But yeah, I went to a college, and they asked me what I wanted to do, and I said, well, I like reptiles, and I dig, I dig them because everyone's always so scared of them, and they're so misunderstood. And I always kind of identified with those characteristics of, reptiles. And I realized that, when you catch these things, people are usually scared of them at first, but I've always been surprised at how many people will, they're actually fascinated. Their fascination with them actually is greater than their fear, but their fear is something that they can't ignore,
That holds them back. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, so I was a major reptile geek.
I'm fascinated with mountain biking, but the fear holds me back from hitting that fucking 7-foot drop.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I geek out on reptiles, and they're kind of my fascination thing, and I like photographing them.
So you were thinking you were gonna be like a snake whisperer or something? Or?
Yeah. It was funny, yeah, because in one of those videos I grabbed this snake, and which is why my friends won't let me ride in front, because I can dismount off my bike and send my bike off into the woods and start, running after some critter. And my friends were all like, yeah, you need to do that behind us. Like, we don't want to come up on you in the middle of trying to wrestle some snake, because there's nowhere for us to go. So you need to do that shit behind us.
So hopefully you can tell a poisonous snake from a distance, because come out here to California, we have a lot of rattlers out here. So.
Yeah.
Or not rattlers. What the fuck am I talking? What is that?
Yeah, rattlesnakes.
Yeah, rattlesnakes. Yeah, big ass rattlesnakes, dude. Those fuckers are big out here, dude.
So in Southern California, you guys have a crazy phenomenon going on. So in Southern California, there's so much development that's pushing toward the east, that it's pushing your Pacific Coast rattlesnake. It's pushing those populations. So not to geek out too bad, but long story short, a venomous snake bite, it can either destroy your tissue, or it can shut down your nervous system. There's only two kinds of venom, and then they operate kind of differently. So one of them will just like destroy your muscle tissue and make a mess out of you, and then the other one will just shut down your heart. So there's like these rattlesnakes that are getting pushed toward.
It's like A is good, and wait, A is bad. Is really fucked up. So that sounds like a good time.
Yeah, B is even worse.
Up.
Yeah. So there's like you guys have these rattlesnakes that have the I'm geeking out over this stuff. But anyways, you have two different kinds of rattlesnake species that aren't supposed to be together, but their populations are getting slammed toward each other, and they're hybridizing. And there's actually a type of rattlesnake now out there that has venom that not only destroys your tissue, but also shuts your heart down. So it's like a super rattlesnake almost.
I think I've seen a movie about those, like snakes on a plane or something.
Yeah, like that. Right. That's what I named that video. I named that video "Snakes on a Trail."
I'm gonna tell you guys a little story, and I'm gonna try to like PG this so that I don't sound like a complete degenerate. But there was a road trip that I was taking from Phoenix, Arizona, to New Mexico. And while we were taking that trip, if you've ever driven from Phoenix east, there is nothing.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of nothing. I mean, we spent like, I don't know, it felt like 12 hours. It felt like 64 hours in the car. And there was all these billboards for this thing called, there's the billboard said The Thing. And it had like a exit number on it. And we just were like, talking about it and laughing about it, and we're what's the thing? I'm not going to tell you what the thing is. So we passed the thing, and we kept driving, and there's still a whole lot of nothing. So we get to Texas. When we finally get to Texas, there's like a ranger, like border patrol fucking station, and we like hang a left through Texas, and now we're going into New Mexico. By this point, it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. There may or may not have been some roadies involved, but those of you guys that don't know what roadies are, they are completely legal. So we're rolling up, and we stop out in the middle of the fucking desert. It is pitch black. It's like, this is the deal. The bladder needs to be emptied. This is what's happening right now. So we stop the car. You're so far out there. There's not any other traffic. And all that you can see in the midst of the night, like we put our hazards on for some reason, because like just in case somebody else comes by in the next 12 hours that they know we're parked on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So the hazard lights are blinking. It's like not daylight, but it's like dusk and then pitch black, dusk and then pitch black, dusk and then pitch black. So we pull over and I'm like, God damn, I gotta piss. So I get out of the truck and the car and there's like a little, like, it feels like a levee. There's like, for some reason, there's like a sand dune or something like that right next to the road. And I walk up this sand dune and I'm standing there like, I do that like right foot out, left foot out, unzip, zip. And I'm like, okay, oh yeah, let it go. Wait, you didn't get it out yet. Don't piss in your pants. Oh, take it out and then let it go. And I'm letting it go and I'm letting it go. And oh God, that feels so good. And I hear this.
Oh,
and I, mind you, dude, I'm from California.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my head, dude, what's up with these? They got sprinklers out here in the middle of the desert, because I'm just hearing this. And I swear to God, in my drunken mind, there was sprinklers on the side of the freeway 200 miles away from fucking civilization. I don't know why I was thinking that, but I heard that. Oh yeah, sprinklers are coming up. And in that dusk dark.
oh wow.
I look down. I am not fucking kidding. I look down right between my legs as I'm like, the pee stream is like whoop right there. And as the dusk comes up before it goes to dark again, I'm almost pissing on a fucking snake, a rattlesnake, coiled up, looking at me like, motherfucker, what are you doing? Yeah. And I about shit my fucking pants. I'm never pissing on the side of the road again.
That would be terrifying, man. Yeah. As someone who likes those.
My ex-wife, I screamed snake, and we're all drunk. We rolling down this like levee sand dune hill, laughing. and my ex-wife has now, at this point, locked all the doors of the car, opened the sunroof, and is standing out of the sunroof going, "Oh my God, what's going on? Oh, you guys!" And I'm like, seriously, you just locked us all the fuck out? This is how this is going down? So. Yeah.
Awesome.
If you're ever in southern New Mexico, heading towards Roswell, see some aliens, do not stop on the side of the road and take a piss. If you're going to piss on the side of the road, piss in the middle of the road, because the side of the road is a bad idea.
Hang it out the window if need be.
So let me hear one of your drunken road trip fucking stories. Let's hear one. You got one, right?
So is this a mountain bike?
It doesn't matter. A drunken road trip story.
Okay, so drunken road trip story that involves snakes. How's that for a segue?
Oh, dude, let's do it.
So this was way back in the day. My buddy Bob and I, ironically, are driving. We were driving through New Mexico, and he picked up. We stopped to get gas. He ran into this liquor store next door and got a 12-pack of beer, and he decides he's going to help me stay awake whilst also finishing off that 12-pack of beer. And of course, he gets 2 or 3 beers into it, falls asleep over there, and I'm by myself in the middle of the night driving through New Mexico. So to fuck with him, I pulled
New Mexico.
What's that?
Did you say New Mexico?
Yeah, we were in New Mexico.
God, so it's the same state. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's where crazy shit like this happens for sure.
Aliens.
So we're driving along and we come up onto one of those Love's truck stops, which are just these colossal truck. I mean, they're like little cities out there in the desert. And we pull into this place, and I happen to see that a lot of these 18-wheelers are, they let their trucks idle, and they don't shut their trucks off while they go inside. They're just over there parked, and they got their headlights on and everything like that. So I get into this parking lot and I turn around to where I'm heading straight toward this truck, and I just nice and slowly start picking up a lot of speed. And I come straight toward this semi truck that has its headlights on facing toward us, and then slam on the brakes at the last second, and then scream to my buddy Bob. I'm like, "Bob, look out!" He comes up out of the seat and sees an 18-wheeler with headlights coming straight toward. He doesn't see the truck stop. He just sees headlights. And he starts fumbling, beating at the door track, trying to find the door handle, but he's in my truck, so he can't quite find the handle, and he's wigging the fuck out. And then he finally gets the door, like, and right as he opened the door was right about the time that the truck came to a stop. But he did like this frog, or kind of like this leapfrog, kind of a leap out of my truck, and then just landed just flat dead on this. He was expecting to hit the ground at 70 miles an hour, and he hits the ground at like just laying there, and he gets up and he's in the middle of this fucking truck stop. he didn't talk to me for like 2 days, man. It was great.
You say you had a snake too.
Yeah. Oh, so we were down there looking for snakes. It was a weak segue, actually, now that I think about it. But we were just on a road trip to go out and take pictures and
that's awesome.
Look for things and stuff like that.
That was beautiful, though. I love it. And it's Mexico. I'm telling you, I'm blaming the aliens. No matter what, I'm blaming the aliens. So
yeah, New Mexico's that's a rat state,
dude. I super appreciate you getting on today. If you guys have not watched Horns High's channel, definitely check it out. Horns High MTB. It was definitely a great time chatting with you. I need you one more time. Shout out freaking Ride Bikes Eats Tacos. This is the shirt that I'm wearing. Swing by his website, ridebikeseatstacos.com. I'll put it in the show more, hopefully. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. That was a little beer burp there. Beer burp there. A little beer burp. So I really appreciate all you guys coming. Everybody that will watch the video that comes out this week, if you guys watch it. If you don't, and hey, man, it's up to you, man. Peace be with you. But the guys from Dirt Trail Riders, also another apparel company that gave 6 bikes to people that lost everything today. Awesome. MTB Experience put on that. They are the ones that set up that event that I was at today. They do skills clinics for women and guys that identify with women, or whatever feels good to you. But that's what they do. I'm gonna have them on the biker bar here in the near future. Shawn, I don't know how I led into that. I am super stoked that you came out here today, signed on. Dude, I had a blast chatting with you, man.
Hell yeah, man.
So much fun, man.
Hell
I really appreciate it. Give everybody a little shout out of your channel and what you got going on over there, and let's wrap this bitch up.
All right. Well, first off, thank you so much, Rob. Thanks for having me out, man. This is the first time I've done anything like this. So you were gentle with me. You were kind. You were loving. I don't feel like I need to cry. Yeah. So I'm loving how this thing went out. So but yeah. Horns Eye mountain biking out here in Kansas City, and kind of representing the Midwest, I guess,
For now, man, getting ready to move on to Colorado, dude. Hey, dude, once again, thank you very much. Next week, this is the deal. I have never, ever talked about what was going to be on next week on the Biker Bar, because believe it or not, this is like flying by the seat of my fucking pants. And last week, I told you guys who was going to be on this week. Guess what? Tricked you, bitches. Happened. So we'll see what happens next week. Next week's going to be a surprise. I'm not going to talk to you about it. If you laughed once, if you laughed twice, if you even thought about laughing, hit the thumbs up button. Let me take a look at this shit right now. Like, there is seriously 49 thumbs up. Let's get a little bit more than that. The one guy that thumbs down, go fuck yourself. And you enjoy the channel and you enjoy what you've seen, please subscribe. It makes me happy. I like being happy. If you listen to this thing as a podcast, it's on Apple Podcast, it's on Google Play, it's on SoundCloud. It may be some other places, but I'm not paying for that. So wherever you're listening to this podcast, please stop by and do a little like comment thing and give it all the stars. If you're a thumbs down guy, just go ahead and just stop playing, move the fuck on. Everybody that's a subscriber, I appreciate you guys so much. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. I guarantee you Shawn wouldn't be here. Whoever's going to be on next week wouldn't be here. Thank you guys all so much. Remember one thing, just one thing. only takes a bike to be a biker. Get out and be one.